Hey y'all, welcome back to another video with Life of Chess with General Hospital May 6, 2025. Look, where we gonna start? Where are we gonna start? I think we're gonna start with Gio now. Might as well. Look, Lois told Dante he wouldn't be saying that if he really knew who Gio was. I said, is she gonna tell it? No, she's not. But Lulu right there and she's listening and she making faces. So I'm assuming she's going to be the one to tell the truth. She probably gonna be like, you don't know who he really is. He's an amazing person. He would never do this. Dante over here trying to have the boy arrested. I was like, how you gonna have him arrested for something he didn't even do? He ain't did nothing but try to help your son out. Danny the one convinced him to go, and he the one chose to go. Now I understand he's scared, he upset that his son almost died and stuff like that. But to sit up here and say you gonna have Gio arrested or whatever, I was like, wait a minute now. I was like, not Rocco. I don't call him Rocco. What's his name? Gio. Is his real name Gio? Yeah, I was like, Gio, defend yourself. He over here trying to have you arrested. This stuff talking about having him arrested. I was like, he ain't even do nothing. But yeah, hold on. On today's episode, Dante still all in Gio face telling him, if anything happens to his son, he holding him responsible. And he just blaming him for everything. And I was like, wait a minute. Then when he came over there, it was during the last scene, he asked him, he wanted to know what happened. He asked him, was he the one who took him to the party? I said, did he tell you that he didn't even know he was there? Obviously, he would know he was there if he took him to the party. I was like, look, I said it's storming. Y'all hear that? I said the lights probably gonna go out. But yeah, I said he over here. I said he just trying to blame the first person or something. I can't understand how Dante feels knowing his son almost died due to alcohol poisoning, which is why he was blaming Gio for everything. Yep, and y'all know they wrote that in there just to have a storyline going on when they get ready to reveal the whole Dante is Gio's father and Brooklyn is his mother. They had to do something because I was like, wait a minute now, he over here trying to have him arrested and stuff. But yeah, with their scene, he was just blaming him. I think Lulu's supposed to be telling him on tomorrow's episode that he went too far. Now they didn't show who she was talking to, but I'm assuming she was talking to Dante. Yeah, it's storming. Hold on, let me hurry up. That scene when he was confronting Gio or whatever, Gio was trying to explain himself. Lois kept trying to talk. He said, I'm not talking to you. And he did say something during that last scene. He said that Gio whole life people been making decisions for him. It's time for him to make his own. I said, true that, true that. But yeah, the doctor ends up coming and telling that Rocco made it. He's going to be okay. But if Cody hadn't noticed that his breathing was off, he was going to be in a coma. I said, oh my goodness. And I'm so glad. And Gio still over here trying to cover for Danny. He still was trying to cover for Danny because he got a call. Danny was asking how Rocco doing, and Carly heard it. She heard it and she wanted to talk to him. She ends up telling him she on her way or whatever. So Carly goes to talk to Danny to tell him he needs to take responsibility for his actions or whatever. She asked who idea it was and everything. I said, right on. I said, right on, Mama Carly. And she was like, Jason gives you enough room, to make your own decision. I said, he gonna have to stop that. Now, certain things you're gonna have to allow them to do to learn or whatever. But in other cases, you gotta be a parent. You can't just be like, oh, you do what you want to do. No. But yeah, I said, about time we see Carly. It's about time she returned the favor. All the years he don't show it up for her kids. I said, it's about doggone time. But yeah, I liked the scene where she told him he needs to take responsibility or whatever and that he shouldn't do that. And she hoped that he thinks twice before drinking or whatever. With Drew and Brad, he done told. We're gonna have to circle back to Gio now. But yeah, with Drew and Brad, he told. Drew said he would give him $500,000 if he told the name. He told so fast that it was Portia, but he don't know that it was Nina because he would have said it, but he didn't say anything. He was like, are you sure? He was like, Portia the one who did this to me? He's like, yeah, or whatever, but he ain't got proof. He just got himself that she got him to do it, but he didn't know what she was going to get ready to do with it. He also told, excuse me, he also told that she got all his paperwork. She ordered him to get all his files from when he was, what was it called? John Doe? Yeah, when he was John Doe or whatever. That's a snitch. I said, what if he don't give you the money? But he ends up telling Brad, I double the money and it'll be in your account first thing in the morning. I said, first of all, I thought they couldn't do that. I thought you had to wait a certain amount of time. Now, look, I be thinking too deep, y'all. But he said, I double it if you do one thing for me. I said, what he wanted them to do? Did they ever show it? I don't think they showed it. Well, yeah, I said, Brad, you never learn. You never learn, do you? You don't even know if he gonna give you the money. Then with the whole Alexis situation, I think we're gonna talk about them last, but I gotta say this because I said that. I said they gonna continue to come ask for more and more money. And I said that don't make sense. I said at this point, Christine just had to go to jail or the crazy place at this point. Cause ain't no way. Then Alexis brought up that, if she do too much deposits and stuff like that, or whatever it's called, transfer, they gonna start to notice, and she going to jail. And she was like, and I'm taking y'all down with me. I knew they could go to jail too. And then he was like, your lunatic daughter, your lunatic daughter would be going to jail too. I said, at this point, let her go. At this point, let her go. But with Trina, Kai, Portia, he made it through surgery. I'm confused. I'm confused now. Maybe they was just doing it. What wasn't his arm the only thing that hurt? Was it his leg too? Because he was in a wheelchair, he got up or whatever, and she was trying to help him walk, and he was walking or whatever. And I was like, I'm confused now. I thought it was his arm that wasn't working. No, wait a minute. That didn't come out. Wait a minute. No, no, not working. But something about he couldn't throw or something like that. I don't know, y'all. I don't know at this point. But yeah, I said, wait, why they? Maybe it's because he had surgery. I don't know, cause she's trying to help him and stuff like that. But I was like, wouldn't the thing be for him to try to move his arm? I don't know, y'all. But yeah, that's all that happened with them. He made through surgery. He had woke up. They tried to heal. He was walking and stuff. I think that's the only thing they showed with it. Alexis, no, Lucky and Christina. That's who doing this. Lucky and Christina. Christina ends up telling Lucky that Alexis trying to have her committed, and he was shocked. But then he was like, he kind of understand. And she was like, "You saying I'm crazy? Yes, you're crazy. Yes, you're crazy." But yeah, he was just trying to get her to see that maybe that's the option that Alexis thought she had to take and stuff like that. She ended up showing up at the end of the episode. I guess she was coming. Well, obviously she was coming to talk to Alexis or whatever. I think they showed on the preview she's supposed to be talking, telling Ava and Rick there's something. Well, telling Rick there's something you need to know about the accident. And I said, she about to tell? I don't know. But then, with Alexis and Diane, Alexis ends up revealing that they know that she tried to have her committed because of the swap and the paperwork and stuff like that. Diane felt bad. And she finally told half of the truth. She ends up telling Diane that Christina don't even know that she knows. And she was like, so how do you know? Who told you? And she was like, basically, the less you know, the better. And Diane wanted to take full blame, but she was like, no. She was like, no, that's okay. She gonna handle it because that's her daughters. I was like, at this point, like sometimes, like I don't know, because I'm not a parent, so maybe I don't get it. But at some point, somebody gonna have to learn themselves. Somebody's gonna have to learn themselves because Christina keep doing stupid stuff and Alexa keep running. You just got out of jail. You just got out of jail. You barely got out of jail then. Now you finna sit up here and go back to jail for her. Because even at this point, even if Christina was to turn herself in, if she found out some type of way that Alexis had to give money to make sure that she don't go to jail, and she decided to do the right thing, when Alexis still, regardless, Alexis will still have to go to jail, right? I do what they call it when you have to get the money back, where they had to reverse the funds or something like that. I don't know if they could or not. Did I see a spoiler that said something about Alexis gonna get in trouble? I don't know. But yeah, I said she had to go to jail at this point. What else did they talk about? Oh, Alexis told Diane that she wished that she had destroyed the paperwork. No, you should have had her committed like Diane said. Diane tried to tell you. Now you getting deeper and deeper in, and these folks want more money on top of the money they already got. And you can already tell. Next we talk about Rick and Ava, y'all. You can already tell that they not gonna agree because they both going behind each other back. Ava felt some type of way, but she didn't tell that she already asked Alexis to double the money, and they both being money hungry. And Alexis told them about that, and I was like, yeah, they ain't gonna get along for too much longer. They definitely not. But yeah, she ends up picking him up for the hospital, and that's when they had the conversation. And they end up, I thought they was finna say they finna go drinking or something. What did he say? Get down to fun or something like that. They end up showing up at Alexis' doorstep or whatever, and they end up telling her that they want. He set up some type of account for her to transfer all the money. He ends up asking for double, and she's like, "If I do that, then they're going to notice that she been taking money that don't belong to her, and they don't care nothing about that." They talking about some basically Christina gonna go to jail. And that's why I said just let her go to jail. She gonna have to go to jail. I said she put her in jail. Put her in the crazy place. Who else we got? Dante, Lulu, and Rocco. So he ends up waking up and he was trying to say something or whatever. And I said, I understand he a teenager, he gotta learn stuff like that. But why? And then they be like, I know you've been through so much, so I'm not gonna say anything. I guess because it's a time and a place for everything. But at the same time, you over here holding Gio accountable, might as well say something to Rocco. He's still supposed to be in trouble regardless of what he went through. But yeah, he kept trying to say he's sorry and just explain himself, and they was like, no, we could talk about that later or whatever. So Dante ends up leaving Lulu and Rocco in there, asked to talk to Gio alone. And he took him over there. Lois followed. I said, Lois, just tell the truth at this point. Just tell the truth. So he started going off. He wanted to know what happened. Like I said at the beginning of this, he was like, what happened? Did you take him to that party? And he's like, no, I didn't even know he was there until Danny said he needed help. Exactly. There you go. Danny. Danny the reason. Well, they all got some blame to go around though, because Gio did try to cover it up instead of telling the truth. So I do agree with that part. Because as the adult, you supposed to be told you can't just be over here like doing whatever. Sorry, y'all got a notification. But yeah, and that's when he just started going off on Gio. He was listing the crimes, the charges and stuff. I said, wait a minute now, where is this going? He was like, you can have, I don't know if he said a felony or something, a misdemeanor or something. He just listing charges, and Lois kept trying to interfere and say stuff. And he was like, I'm not talking to you. You can't help yourself. He's just going off on Lois too. But yeah, she was like, I don't think you'd be saying this if you knew who he was. And Lulu had made it at that time, and Lulu was making a face. I said, she gonna find out. She gonna be the one, because Lois gonna say something. She gonna be like, you don't know who he is. What I mean by that is, he's a nice person. He's a nice boy. He wouldn't do this and that. Y'all know. They gonna continue to drag this storyline. What is it? May 6th? Yeah, they gonna continue to drag this storyline for as long as they can. Who else we got? Danny Carly already said Mama Carly ended up telling him exactly what he need to hear. That he's responsible, so he needs to take accountability and stuff like that. He needs to go to Lulu and Dante and apologize. I was waiting on them to show up. Or whatever, so he could apologize and Dante could feel like crap and apologize to Gio, because he was wrong for not telling though. But other than that, you talking about he going to jail? He going to jail now. But yeah, I'm glad Carly told him or whatever. And like I said at first, like, it's a good thing to see, because we've seen for a long time Jason show up for Michael and them, Jocelyn them, and all them. So it's about time that she show up for Danny. What don't Jason get another child? Danny and Jake, he out of town, ain't he? He out the country, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I was like, dog, I wanted to see not just how he was with Danny. I wanted to see him with both his sons. Alexis, Rick, Ava, we already talked about them. But yeah, I think we covered everything. Let me make sure. Dante trying to have Gio arrested. Drew offers double it. Carly tells Danny he left Rocco. Oh yeah, that. I agree with that, because I said that. She told him basically the first way he made up. The first way he messed up, Lord have mercy. The first way that he messed up is because he left Rocco or whatever. I said, exactly. If you go with somebody to a party or whatever event, you're supposed to leave with them. Don't abandon them. I'm so glad she said that. But yeah, I think that's everything. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. That's all. Let me know y'all thoughts down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the day and be safe.